I've got a little bit of extra time tonight, or a little bit of daylight left, and I thought I'd show you guys how you can change the heads on this. A lot of you have been wanting to see the brush cutter blade on this thing and to see how this thing works out. I do have a 10-inch saw blade that I can put on this thing too that'll fit on this. I think the hole and everything's the same diameter if I remember correctly, but I have some brush to cut down and I'd like to see how this thing works. So it doesn't look like this thing matters which way this gets put on from what I can tell. There's no up or down labeled on this thing. So anyways, there's a hole on the side of this thing and all you need to do is this is a reverse thread, so there's a hole on the side here, and you just have to find the... See how the screwdriver went in right there? Now this thing's locked, and it isn't, and now it is. So then all you have to do is just undo this thing, and the head comes right off. And as you can see, this thing has been... I have used this thing a decent amount. So that gets put on there. Then I'm assuming the blade goes next. I think that's how this goes. Should be this. Yeah, there's an indentation for the blade. The blade goes next. And then must be this. And then that, yeah, that looks about right. And then there's also a reverse thread lock nut that this gets put on. So this gets tightened lefty tighty, righty loosey. And this is included. This is like a scrunch almost, except if I can get this thing out of here. I'll just use it as it is, maybe. No. This piece here, this screwdriver, actually I'm pulling on the wrong screwdriver. There. Oh, jeez. There. Now that goes on there, and we can use this thing to tighten this down. And we also have to put another screwdriver in there to keep this thing from... Let's see here, we're going to go lefty, tighty. So you just want to get this thing on here. And of course this is my first time doing this. And I've never put one of these things on there before, so bear with me. And we'll stick this thing back in there. And we just have to tighten this thing down. Obviously their tools are not the best tools to use to put this thing on. I should just use my impact driver to put this on, but I figured I'd just use this thing. I guess to prove that you guys that you can use their tools that comes with it to work on this machine a little bit. So you pretty much just tighten this nut down, and you have to, I'm seeing now, you have to keep the blade pressed up against the top of this weed whacker itself. Unless that was tight. That might have been tight. So I want to make sure this thing, it shouldn't come off. Just want to make sure that that thing is nice and tight on there. Oh my. Wow, is that really that? Let me get this thing on correctly and I'll show you what I mean. Now I've got this thing on correctly. You want to look here and just give this thing a spin. So this thing, this appears, yeah, this is reversible. Now that I look at this a little more, this is a reversible cutter head, so you can use this thing. You can flip it and get double the life out of it. So this is probably not sharpenable, because then you'd have to rebalance it again. You know, you take a little bit off here and a little there and a little there. It's be like balancing a lawnmower blade. I'm sure it can be done, but you just want to make sure that you got this thing spinning correctly. So I guess let's go cut some brush with this thing. I've never used one of these before, and I'm hoping for the best.
Some of you might remember this spot. This was where we got the 8N stuck probably a year or so ago. There is a huge wet spot down in the bottom here, and we just can't drive the big equipment down there. So this allows me to cut down the brush and stuff in here without getting stuck, because obviously I'm on foot, and like I said, we just can't drive the big tractors in here to mow this, so this is a great alternative. Even the Gravely we can't drive down in here because it will get stuck also. So I'm really not using this thing like I should here. This stuff here that I'm cutting is meant for a saw blade. You're supposed to use a saw blade on this kind of stuff. But I decided to see if the brush cutter could cut through it. And it did. It did leave a higher stump than what I would like. So here I'm trying to trim this thing down. And in the fall and winter and stuff, you guys can see this a lot better. But I trimmed down, well, probably 5 or 10 bushes and stuff in here that we just can't mow. And this thing works pretty good. I am very impressed with this brush cutter. The next thing I'm going to put on this thing will be a saw blade, at least on this attachment, and then I can cut down trees and stuff with this thing. So I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Here's a picture of the stump. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more.